Welcome along to the Deep Dive. This is where we take the sources you send us, really dig in, and try to pull out the most important insights, maybe some surprising facts too.
That's the idea.
And today, well, we're diving into something pretty fundamental, I think, for anyone learning a new language. We've got some source material here titled Excerpts from the Path to Easy English Fluency.
Right.
And what really jumps out, I mean, it's right there, anchoring the whole thing, is this very direct question.
Yeah, it's simple but powerful.
How to speak English in an easy way.
Exactly. And that framing, asking about the easy way, is, I think, the crucial first step. It sets the whole direction.
It does, doesn't it? Because, at first glance, you might think, easy, is that realistic? It almost sounds too simple.
Well, that's the interesting part.
But the source isn't just asking. It feels like it's presenting a challenge almost to how we normally think about learning languages.
It really is. It's questioning that whole no pain, no gain idea that often comes with language study.
Right. Can we get fluent without that constant struggle? That seems to be the core question.
And what's fascinating is how it defines easy. It's not about, zero effort.
No magic wand then.
No, not quite. It's more about reducing friction, making it efficient, finding a path that feels, smarter, maybe more aligned with how we naturally pick things up, rather than, like you said, that constant uphill battle.
A sustainable path. That makes sense. So that's a really important distinction up front. So what does the source do with that question? It doesn't just leave it hanging there, presumably.
No, definitely not. The excerpts actually lay out some very practical principles based on this idea.
Okay, like what?
Well, one of the big ones they emphasize is something called cognitive load reduction.
Cognitive load reduction. Okay, sounds a bit technical, but what does that mean in practice?
Basically, the source argues that a lot of traditional methods just overload you.
Right, like trying to memorize 50 grammar rules before you can even ask where the bathroom is?
Exactly that. So the path suggests instead focusing on high-impact stuff first.
High impact, meaning?
Things like really common vocabulary, high-frequency words, and basic sentence patterns.
Okay.
They actually state, I think, that if you get a handle on the most used, say, 1,000 to 2,000 words, you can actually understand and communicate a huge chunk of everyday conversation.
Really? That many?
Surprisingly high percentage, yeah. So it's about getting the most bang for your buck early on, building momentum quickly.
Okay, so it's strategic. Don't try to boil the ocean. Learn the power words and power phrases first, like a skeleton key you said earlier.
Sort of, yeah. It unlocks basic communication much faster.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What else? How else does it suggest making this journey easy?
Well, another really powerful idea in there is about immersion, but specifically contextual immersion over rate memorization.
Contextual immersion, so not just staring at lists of words.
Definitely not. The author really advises against that. Instead, they push for engaging with English stuff you actually like.
So find movies or podcasts or articles that you're genuinely interested in.
Precisely. And focus on understanding the words in that context. Because your brain is already engaged with the story or the topic.
Right.
Learning the vocabulary becomes almost like a side effect. It feels less like work.
That sounds much more appealing than flashcards for hours on end. Much more sustainable, too.
That's where the easy part really starts to kick in, I think. You're learning while you're actually enjoying yourself.
Okay, so we've got smart vocabulary focus, high-frequency words, learning in context. What about actually, speaking? That's often the biggest hurdle for people, isn't it? The scariest part.
Absolutely. And the source addresses that directly. It introduces a technique. They call it micro-interaction practice.
Micro-interaction practice. Okay, break that down.
It basically means don't wait until you feel perfect or ready to have a full conversation. That day might never come.
True. The perfection trap.
Instead, embrace really short, frequent, and even imperfect speaking opportunities.
Like what kind of things?
Could be super simple, like just narrating what you're doing out loud in English while you cook dinner. Okay, now I'm chopping the onions. That kind of thing.
Right, okay.
Or maybe using an AI language partner for just 5 minutes a day to practice common phrases.
Using tech.
Yeah. The key is making it consistent, but also lowering that barrier to entry, making it feel less intimidating.
So speaking becomes less of a big, scary performance and more of a small daily habit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Low stakes. Habitual. That removes so much of the pressure.
That's actually brilliant. Okay, so let's just recap that. The path to easy English fluency. based on these excerpts, tackles its own question: how to make it easy by focusing on reducing cognitive load,
Right. Don't overload yourself.
prioritizing the most useful vocabulary and learning it in context,
Through things you enjoy.
and then making speaking a frequent low-pressure habit through these micro-interactions.
You got it. It really does shift the focus from just brute force effort to smart efficiency.
It feels like a much more human-centered approach somehow.
I think so too. And if we tie this back to you, the listener, while this source gives some really potent ideas, some clear principles, it also kind of leaves the next step open. It offers ways to make the process easy, but what easy actually looks like for you. Based on your learning style, your schedule, your specific goals, that's something you need to figure out for yourself. It's a personal exploration.
That's a great point. It gives you the framework principles, but you need to tailor it. So we'd encourage you, really, to take these core ideas: cognitive load, focus, context, micro practice, and start your own deep dive. Ask yourself, how can I apply these? What small steps feel genuinely easy, maybe even enjoyable for me?
Because that's where the real progress happens. Finding your path, using these principles as a guide.
Exactly. That feels like the true path to fluency.